I think Ninjago's a pretty good show. I mean, there was a good reason that it ran for 11 years and 15 seasons. It was because people liked it. Generally speaking, it was quality TV. However, in the end, the fact that it ran for 15 seasons really hurt the quality of the show. By the end of Ninjago's 11-year run, you could really tell that the writers were being absolutely stretched thin trying to think of stuff to do with this 11-year-old format. Repeating character arcs, recycling plot points, characters not developing anymore, and actively regressing. 6 ninjas and a master living in a monastery in the Ninjago world defeating evil could only be interesting for so long. And this concern was made worse by the fact that the 11-minute era of Ninjago was barely interested in moving the plot forward at all. Where Wilfilm probably could have benefited from taking more risks, but nonetheless would still always move the plot forward, the 11-minute era in comparison felt like the characters were stuck in purgatory. If this franchise wanted to live on into the future, it needed to make some serious, drastic changes in order to keep things fresh. So with that in mind, seemingly out of nowhere, in came the merge. And I think it's the best thing to happen to this franchise in years. Conceptually, this is just such a cool idea. So, parallel to the Ninjago world that we see in the original TV series, there are 16 other realms, which are basically parallel worlds. Whenever Ninjago needed to do something drastically new, they could always just plop the ninja into a new realm. But eventually, you could only do so many stories about the ninja getting marooned in distant realms before that got boring as well. So with the actual Ninjago world getting kind of tired, the characters not really having much to do, kind of having conquered all of their problems, and with the actual act of going to different realms kind of losing its luster a bit, how do we fix this? Well, it's actually really simple. We take all these vastly different worlds that operate completely differently to each other, and we just smash them all together. It's a really simple idea, but this simple idea has made the Ninjago brand interesting again. The Ninjago world and characters are feeling a bit tired? Well, guess what? It's now 16 times bigger.
16 times the detail.
With so many different new designs and cultures and characters and civilizations to discover. This show's world feels fresh again. There's so much new ground to cover. I remember part of what made those first 5 seasons of the Wilfilm era so good is the amount of discovery and new stuff you'd see with every season. And I feel like as the world got less and less new, that appeal kind of went away to a degree. We obviously still had places like Shintaro and Melopia, as poorly fleshed out as those were at times, but it didn't have the same appeal to discovering the Ninjago world for the first time in those first few seasons. What they've done here with the merge comes pretty close to emulating that charm. With the Ninjago world being 16 times bigger, there's so much more stuff to see now. For example, exploring Imperium in the first part of Dragons Rising was the absolute highlight of that installment for me. Unlike Master of the Mountain and Seabound, which kind of took a hands-off approach to showing their civilizations, i.e. kind of not really explaining what they are at all, Dragons Rising goes into intricate detail about how Imperium operates, what its culture is like, what its people think of it, and just puts in a ton of effort to make this kingdom look like a believable place. Which is especially refreshing given how hands-off the Ninjago producers were on fleshing out Melopia and Shintaro. And Imperium is just going to be the beginning. Not only do we have all of the realms we haven't seen yet now in Ninjago, the merge has also completely changed the places we do know. The monastery, for example, looks really different now. It's still recognizably the monastery, but the merge has definitely made things a lot weirder there. There's a weird portal beneath it, there's now trees growing out of the walls. It's really cool stuff. Not only am I really excited to see what the other merged realms have to offer, I'm also really excited to revisit familiar locations from the original show and see how the merge has changed them. I want to see what the merge has done to the City of Styx or Shintaro or Melopia. Actually, I really want to see what the merge has done to Melopia, given how Melopians live on the surface world now. Or at least some of them are. It's also just really interesting on a conceptual level. Imagine waking up, looking out your window, and seeing an entirely new city just on the horizon. This cataclysmic event has left so much potential to explore how it's affected the characters and the landmass of the world we're now inhabiting. They've gotten so much mileage out of this concept so far, and I think they're only going to get more going forward. The merge has opened the door for so many new interesting Ninjago stories, locations, and premises, whilst also making old, tired-to-death locations like the Monastery of Spinjitzu feel genuinely fresh and exciting to explore again. And came at just the right time, where the LEGO Ninjago world really started to feel like it was showing its age. After the release of 2022's season, I really thought that the show was just going to continue to go down and down into unoriginality, and I am so happy to have been proven wrong. The merge, while being such a simple concept, has done so much to renew this show for me, and I'm genuinely really excited to see where this could go.